Hey guys, my name is JessiMew, and welcome back to the Lone Wolf Challenge. In the last episode, our curious healer Jay made it to the jungles, and he did manage to start his family, though it is a very small and very fragmented family at the moment. He's passed on his own healer's curiosity to his very first daughter, and Daisy has a lot riding on her shoulders. She probably knows that she needs to go beyond the reaches of their territory too. She knows that a long journey is ahead of her to find what she seeks. I'm hoping that we can use her to unlock the purse now. Maybe if she does make it all the way over to these stinky fruit trees. Assuming that there's no danger in the jungle at least. No apes that could go after her. Maybe she'll be able to unlock that purse snout for us, so we can finally breed that back into the family. I believe it was Daylily, his second daughter, who has the purse snout and her inactive traits. And it's kind of fitting too, because her mother is the one who's being haunted by Mulberry's misfortune. Maybe that's even why it took her so long to get to Jay's side. If she was being slowed down by the swarm of bugs, instead of just her big body, that would explain why he spent so many days alone out here. Right now though, let's have Daisy go ahead and pick the last of her berries. I mean, she's all alone now. She's the only one who can pick from this berry bush. And I believe that Rana has also noticed a bit of a thief in her midst. So her berry bush is over here, but we have bunnies hopping around these grasslands too. And you probably know where this is going. Bunnies are some serious pickpockets. They are always looking to steal our berries. So while bunnies may have been messengers for Takir, they are nothing but dirty thieves to Vankir. I think that means that we're going to have to look into maybe getting some claws in our creatures too, which is kind of strange considering Vankir's influence. But the only creature who would have enough attack to actually take down the bunnies in one swipe is Mikomi, and it doesn't seem like she's going to have enough energy soon. So I think we're going to have to put together Vankir's guard in the main heart of the camp, but we'll get to that in a moment. Right now, let's have Mikomi come on over here. That way she's still right next to her baby, keeping her very, very safe from all these bluebirds. I mean, the amount of life out here in the jungle is kind of startling. We have the bunnies, we have the moles, we have the bluebirds, and we even have crabbits skittering around in the ocean. Dodamingos too, looking to steal our nests. I mean, maybe this guy would be able to keep her nest warm while she's gone. Let's bring Daisy way over here, I guess, going toward the pole of adventure. And that would set her up right next to the baby too, so that gives Rana the Reckless plenty of time to sneak to the other side of the berry bush. But let's make sure that she grabs the berries that she does have access to right now. Oh, wait a second. Did they not even steal your berries? Maybe they were a little bit afraid of you? I mean, there was definitely a bunny over there. Ah, there was a rock blocking it? No wonder, and it looks like it might actually be guarding one of the healing fruits as well. I guess right now it's a little bit more interested in the berry bush next to the healing fruit. I think this one is a normal berry bush too. So that's an interesting discovery, and maybe one that Rana would want to keep hidden under her paw. So let's have Mikomi grab the rest of her berries too. Plenty of food to feed to her baby, because this might be one of her last turns with plenty of energy to spare. I would imagine that Mulberry's misfortune is going to seek her out next. Oh my gosh! That is a little bit aggressive, Mulberry. Oh my gosh, there's so much going on the screen right now. We have like every color under the rainbow on the screen. We have our Berina, we have our Berina baby. Honestly, I don't know how you guys are going to take that down. I mean, clearly Mikomi is going to have to be the one to save her baby. Oh, of all the times for a Berina to spawn, and we might even have a hero in the grasses too. With the lovely peacock tail. Well, if you come out a little bit further, we might be able to invite you to the tribe. Unfortunately, he doesn't have the claw either, but I think I did see that he has the ram horns on him. We can't click on him just yet because he is in the darkness. Oh my goodness, but wait a second, Rana. Can you actually see his peacock tail sticking out of the grasses? Maybe we should have her come up this way? Yes, you can catch him. Ooh, does he have the big body too? He is quite handsome. You know, Kuro, you might be able to save us from this Berina invasion after all. He can at least lend a pretty decent hand, though he is rather old. I'm guessing that he's seen his fair share of fights in his time, his fair share of battles, so we would have to be careful to make sure that he doesn't take too much damage. Well, since you're right next to him, let's make sure that you invite him into the tribe, Rana. We are desperately going to need his help. And then I guess we could have him jump in and land this first attack. Maybe even as a way to distract the Berina so he can slowly lure him over to the shores. It would be pretty excellent if we could lure the Berina to the coconut trees too, because that would be a good way to stun it for sure. But Mikomi, you are not going to let this stand either. Let's bring you over here. That way your baby can skitter right behind you. Though unfortunately that's going to put her directly into Mulberry's Misfortune, right inside the swarm of bugs. I mean, I don't think we have much of a choice. We don't really want the Berina getting to her, and all we could do otherwise is move her straight over to the Berina baby's side. So let's have her come over here, and we'll just cross our fingers that this is going to be enough. I guess we could also have Rana jump down here too, though she only has one more turn remaining. And was that actually the claw? I mean, I think we were pretty close to unlocking that in our mutation menu. That must have been the claw. Oh my gosh, how fitting. Maybe Daylily's destiny is going to be to start Vankir's guard. I mean, she certainly has the backstory for it. I guess it all just depends if she actually makes it out of this alive, though. So there's not really much we can do for Rana. I mean, we could bring her over here too. Why don't we have her stand over here to back up her sister? I guess this is a good way for you two to bond again, despite all of the drama going on inside your family right now. You know that you would swoop in to help her no matter what. So that, of course, leaves Paisley the baby all on her own. Aside from Daisy, of course. So I guess she's going to have to stay here for one extra day. But it opens up a new opportunity for Paisley. Maybe as she toddled out of the nest, pouncing on Daisy from behind. She would insist that Daisy takes her wherever she's going. She's always felt it in her heart that she needs to follow the bluebirds after all, and I think deep down she really wants to escape all the drama of her family. She would never admit it. She seems more like a very happy-go-lucky and ambitious creature on the outside, but she is harboring a lot of different burdens. So I don't really think that Daisy could refuse her. And aside from that, she probably wants to slink out of the tribe undetected too. So if she did make Paisley go back to her mother, surely this little beaky baby would just blab all of her plans. Well, I guess we're ready to skip this day. It's nice to see that our little Dodomingo has come over here to keep the nest warm too, but hopefully they'll be ready to give it up as soon as Daisy returns. So let's hope that the Berina gives chase to Kuro, our knight in shining armor. Our healer? Oh my goodness! Mikomi, how much damage did you take? 5 days worth of damage. Maybe it's a good thing that Kuro didn't get hit. Oh my gosh, Daylily, that must have been terrifying to see your mother torn apart like that. And not only that, but she's now cursed by Mulberry's misfortune too. Oh my gosh, I don't see how she's going to be able to get out of this. Well, let's make sure that we bring Kuro straight over here to land another attack. It has 8 days remaining on its lifespan. So only 1 attack from Kuro because he is feeling too hot. That's only going to be 3 days worth of damage. We could have Arana land a few attacks too. That's 2 more with her. And Daylily could join in as well. But with her 1 in strength, that's still not going to be enough to take the Berina down. And to be honest, I feel like she'd be more concerned with nursing her mother's wounds. So that takes care of 1 of the debuffs, but 1 more day like that and she's a goner. Honestly, that might be our best bet. Our best bet is survival here, because we also need to make sure that we keep Kuro safe. He could potentially breed with one of our females, and he has quite a few genetics that would be useful in our tribe too. I'm sure you guys have noticed that we don't have a single male in our tribe right now, so Kuro might be our last shot at keeping our tribe alive. So I think despite how much it hurts to sacrifice her like this, that is just how it's going to have to be. Daylily, let's have you go ahead and scoop up some more berries. Maybe she's hoping that it'll give her mother energy again. But of course, that's not going to be the case. We could, I suppose, bring Rana over to this side. Maybe she could go ahead and grab some of those berries too, trying desperately to shake her sister back into action again. She can't believe that she would give up so easily. I'm sure part of her is going to feel like this is all her fault if she does end up passing today. So it's only going to fragment their family even further. Well, Kuro, let's bring you over here, closer to the shore. That way, if the Berina does go after you next, at least it'll have quite a ways to move, so it shouldn't be able to land its first blow. We'll wait until you're at a better position to take care of it properly. Actually, maybe we'll want to bring him down to the shores then. Actually sit him up on the beaches. That way he won't be hidden away in that grass. And that way he'll have some little crabbit friends to talk to too. I wonder if they were attracted by that giant peacock tail of yours. It does put on quite the show. I'm sure you would have plenty more admirers too if this wasn't such a difficult time. And poor Daisy, poor Paisley. Neither of them really understand the gravity of this situation. Daisy doesn't even realize that her mother is sacrificing herself right now. So let's have them sneak their way into the darkness while they still have the chance. Paisley can come after her. And I guess we'll want you two to keep sniffing around too. Because as we get closer to the jungles, there is the potential for more danger as well. Maybe we could even have you two stop and find some berry bushes to pick from. If we could find some poison berry bushes, that would probably be for the best. Let's have Daisy come over here. She could grab these berries on the next turn. And to look at all of these roots. Oh my goodness. I think we could actually have Paisley dig them up with her bird beak. It gives her a tiny little buff in digging too. I guess at the very least, we know that these two babies will be safe and sound. Even though they're far away from their families right now, we know that they're nowhere near the Berina danger. So let's see if the Berina finishes off Mikomi on this turn. Oh, he certainly did. There she goes, and unfortunately Rana has taken some damage too. Well, Daylily, I know that all you can really do is lick her wounds for her, and she is not going to let that stand. We'll have her land 2 attacks on the Berina, and then hopefully lure it out from hiding. If we bring her down to the shore now, maybe it'll scoot its way down to the sandy beaches, and that'll give Kuro the opportunity to attack as well. If this pesky crabbit wouldn't get in the way. Thanks to that poor eyesight, of course, which our tribe seems to be cursed with. He can't exactly skitter his way around the crabbit with ease. We could perhaps have him take a quick dip in the ocean. I'm just not sure if that's going to end up being too deep. He does have the big body, so he might be okay. Ooh, and there's a healing fruit too, or a water-breathing plant rather. Yeah, let's have him take this just in case. That might actually provide him with a pretty good opportunity to land a sneak attack on the Berina, and he should have all of his energy on the next turn too. The water has cooled him down just like Vankir's rains would. Now we probably don't want Daylily to stay here either. Something tells me that the Berina would still be able to sense her. Oh my goodness, I hope we can take care of this Berina before the baby ends up growing up. I mean, he would be pretty helpful too as one of Vankir's guards. I'm pretty sure the Berinas actually do go after bunnies, so that would help us take care of the bunny population. But before we can do that, we have to take out the mother. So let's have Daylily settle down right here. Crumbling into a heap atop all of this debris. Who would have imagined that things would take such a quick and violent turn? And now she's been left without a mother at all. Her sister is so far away. Her sister that she's never actually met even. And it looks like we might be in the middle of a drought too to top it all off. Vankir is clearly not pleased. So Daisy, you've seen this before. She was actually born during a drought too, and we figured that had something to do with the strange color of her fur. So let's have her gather some of this food, what little she can find in the berry bush at least. And we definitely need to make sure that Paisley is doing the same, but we're going to have them sniff around as they go. Maybe offering up those berries to Vankir will be enough to please him. Now Daisy, let's have you tiptoe your way into the jungle for the very first time. Yeah, but this is exactly why I wanted to make sure that we had the smelling vision on. You found yourself another berry bush, but you've also discovered one of the carnivorous plants. And if this thing gets its greedy jaws on you, you are going to be in some serious trouble. I'm not sure that Paisley will be strong enough to get you out of it. So the stakes are higher than ever before, I guess. Let's see if the Berina comes out to the shores. Please tell me it's going to give chase. Oh, Rana, down to your very final day? That's going to leave just Daylily to take care of the rest of the Berina? Unless we can have Kuro jump up to save the day. Our knight in shining armor is pulling through for us after all. I think that he should be able to take down the Berina in his 2 swipes. Oh my gosh, but that might not be enough to save you, Rana. You still only have 1 day remaining, so we need to get you to that healing fruit. We might be able to save you if we can have Daylily guide the way. Let's have her lick her wounds. And then let's see how many turns can she move. Oh, we can't forget too, she has a short-sighted eyes. So she can move 3 tiles per turn. If we move Daylily right here, she could jump to this tile. Oh, but then she's going to fall just short because of those eyes. Okay, you know what? I'm not going to take any chances. Since it doesn't seem like we'll be able to get her to the healing fruit anyways, let's make sure that Rana can at least have another baby. We'll have her breed with her savior Kuro. He's so close to the end of his lifespan anyways. And then at least we know that Daylily won't be left all on her own. Though I suppose, technically, she wouldn't be left on her own regardless. Because we do still have the baby Berina roaming around in the grasses too. It looks like he may have escaped the battle, and he's old enough to wander on his own now. So how fitting would it be if he and Daylily crossed paths? I'm sure that would shock her at first, but she's going to discover quite quickly that not all Berinas are as bad as the one that took her mother's life. And as far as the meat goes, I'm actually wondering if because of Vankir's challenge, maybe we should leave the meat where it is. Vankir was only known for eating berries and shells and the nuts from the trees, so maybe his challenge should be strictly limited to those food sources. It might make things a little bit harder in the long run, and I'm sure that it will eventually attract some unwanted attention too, but chaos always seems to make the game more fun. So as far as Kuro's mutation menu goes, we've already set up Rana's, so it's just down to you. Thankfully, his fertility is actually a little bit better than most of our tribe mates. Oh my gosh, I hope that Rana's going to be able to breed with him on this turn, so let's definitely make sure that we drop some higher fertility into his mutation menu. And then as for the paw, so we can try to keep that no paw off of his babies. Should we go with the claw? I almost feel like that would be more fitting of his babies, just so they would have a way to protect themselves. If he is some sort of traveling grizzled warrior, then I guess that would make sense. So go ahead and breed with Kuro, and please tell me this is going to work. Oh, thank goodness. And now we can set you up inside your sister's old nest. I mean, it's not as though she's staked claim on this anymore. She has long since passed away, and Daylily is going to be growing up in the next turn, so I'm going to go ahead and assume that it's okay for this stage of the challenge. Now that just leaves Daylily to slink back to her mother's remains. Let's bring her straight over to the skeleton, where she will soon discover the baby Berina is lurking. Now he's 3 days old, so hopefully we haven't lost our chance. I mean, if he grows up on this turn, we are going to have a serious situation on our hands. We won't be able to tame him anymore, and that means he's going to turn and attack us instead. Poor Daisy, completely unaware of all of the drama taking place back at home right now. Well, let's have Paisley go ahead and grab these extra roots around her, and then we'll have you slink over to this berry bush next. I guess we'll probably want her to follow the healing fruit. Actually, is that thing close to the stinky fruit tree too? Yeah, it's almost like it's leading her straight toward what she needs. We could even see it as being her father's guidance. Maybe Jay has even planted these little seeds here so that she would eventually find the stinky fruit trees and unlock the purse now for the good of her family. So that should be the end of that turn. Let's go back to Rana's nest. How sad that their family has fallen apart like this. We knew that they were broken from the start, but this is truly something else. Oh my goodness, little one. And look at this incredibly unique baby that Kuro has given us. The platypus beak, the claw, and the nimble fingers. So I guess the Balance Sisters are working to weasel their influence into this island too. And to be honest, we could clearly use a little bit more balance. His short-sighted eyes are a common problem in his family, but all the same, that peacock tail looks pretty grand. He does remind me a lot of his father, and maybe even a little bit of Jay as well. I think their masks are actually pretty similar, despite the fact that they have no true relation. So the next name on my list is Bandersnatch. One very menacing name for such a cute little baby. I guess that has something to do with the strength that you're packing though. You can definitely pack quite a punch. Now thankfully our baby Berina is still just as young as before, and it looks like he's getting a little bit hungry too. He's clearly mourning over so much death in this tribe. So much needless destruction. I wonder if he was even over here nosing around the remains of Daylily's mother. Maybe he was trying to find a way to help put her to rest. I wonder if he was even taken aback by his own mother's aggressive nature. And now these two can only come together to pick up the pieces. So let's have Daylily offer up a little bit of her food to the friendly Berina. She could actually grab the berries from the bush, and that could be our way to replace the food stores. So now this Berina has been tamed to our tribe. That means he should be able to help us hunt down all of those pesky bunnies, and just generally keep us safe from the shadows, watching over Daylily always. And Kuro, you should be very, very glad to know that your son is as strong as can be. I guess we might as well bring him over here. We could have him go ahead and collect some of those extra berries and clear out all of the pathways around the nest. We need to make these nests much more accessible, and we need to make sure that the healing fruits aren't so hard to get to either. I'm sure that's probably what Daylily herself has realized. If only she had been a little bit closer to the healing fruit, she may have been able to save her mother, she may have been able to save Rana. She definitely has a lot to think about tonight. And so do you two. You have really made out like bandits in this situation. Completely unaware of all of the drama, but all the same, your mission is more important than ever. Jay's purse now probably would have been a great way for us to save all of our creatures too. So let's bring Paisley up here. She probably smells those roots in the distance, and she wants to grab an extra one for Daisy. And as for her, let's bring her straight to the healing fruit. Finally, her own little discovery. And now she's close enough that she can actually smell these stinky fruits in the distance, and that has to smell absolutely delicious to these creatures. So as long as we make sure that we're not straying too close to the carnivorous plant, and so far so good. Oh, the Crabbits have even made it up to the center of the jungle? That's an awfully far way for you to travel, little one. I guess they heard our rule about not eating meat in this challenge, and now they think they can just become a nuisance for our tribe. Well, we might not be able to collect the Crabbit meat, but we could still take them down at least. So maybe we'll have to do a little bit of Crabbit hunting after all. But I guess in the next episode, it'll be time for us to turn our attentions to our wandering duo, because their mission has only just begun. I guess one silver lining in this entire situation is that all of those wounds that we sustained will count toward the purse now in the end. Daylily tried her best to mend every last injury that she could, probably following the stories that she heard about her father, and with 4 licking actions, she has at least made a tiny little dent in our goal. But I think her destiny is going to lie elsewhere. She might end up being the mother to Vankir's guard, and I have a feeling that the Berina is going to play a big role in that too. Maybe this will even be Comet's chance to show his influence in the island, especially since he's so connected to the jungles. But for now, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Bye guys!